Morning guys. Okay, you're going to be replacing the heater core in this dump truck today. If you want to just skip ahead to me doing it, you can do that now. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk about it quick, what we're doing here. So this is a 1992 Ford F600. This has the 6.6 liter Brazilian diesel in it. It's manual. Does not have air conditioning. That'll be important when you order the heater core because there's 3 different sizes for this truck. So this is the part that I have. It's a Spectra Premium 94521 and whatever 399005 is the other part number. So some telltale signs that your heater core is leaking. So one is just a visible leak obviously around the heater core and you'll be dripping out underneath, which mine was. Another sign is you'll have like a sweet smell of antifreeze in the cab when the heater's running, and the windows are fogging up a lot. So basically the air is blowing by the heater core and it's evaporating the water and it's blowing basically really moist air onto your windshield. So those are a few telltale signs. So what I've done here is mine was leaking actually so bad that I was losing quite a bit of coolant. So these 2 lines that feed the heater core here, I just put a piece of copper pipe in between. So basically all it's doing is just circulating through until I could get the part. It took a couple days to get the part. But this will be similar to a lot of F-Series trucks in this sort of year range, like 85 to 95. The 350s I know have it, it's the 450s, you know, few of the F-Series. So if yours looks anything like this will help you out a lot, because it's easy to do, but it's easier if you know where the screw locations are. And I happen to have the service manual for this truck, so it makes it a lot easier. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is remove the heater here and this resistor plug, and we're going to remove the blower motor. Not necessary, but it'll make this whole thing lighter and easier to maneuver, and you can clean the fins on the squirrel cage so it runs a little bit better. So we're just going to remove these 3 screws here. And that should all come out. And yeah, you can clean those fins if they're dirty. So just put that to the side. Okay, so then you'll remove your heater hoses if you haven't already. This cable here that controls the duct inside to, you know, select heat or no heat, you can leave that on because when you take this little cap off, it never really goes on nice again. So you might have some problems with that, but just leave it. You don't really need to remove it. So this stuff's all out of the way. Let's move into the inside and I'll show you the 3 nuts you need to remove to make this a little easier. Okay, so when you're in the cab here, first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to remove this glove compartment box. Mine's a little different than yours might be because it's just been sort of hacked together so many times. But it'll just be a series of Phillips head screws and maybe some like 1/4 inch bolts. But basically just let that drop down, and then I've just got like 4 screws, and I got some strapping here holding this in because it's broken in a couple of places just from age and people taking it in and out over the years. So remove that, and at the end of the day you're basically just trying to get this piece here out. So we'll remove that, and then I'll show you what 3 nuts we need to remove. Okay, so we're looking in through the glove compartment here. So there's 3 nuts you're going to want to remove. So there's that nut right there on that stud. There's another one up there, right there, and one more right there. So it's that one right there. Can't really, yeah, right there. So what you're gonna need for that is this 10mm socket, and it's gonna have to be a long socket because it has to go over top of that stud. So for example, this one, and you'll see if you don't have a really long one, the stud will actually poke through and you won't be able to get the wrench on. So all you'll use is a pair of vice grips or channel locks to turn this socket here. They won't be on super tight because they're actually just holding in some plastic parts. But yeah, let's get to removing those. You'll be able to see it a lot better once I take it out. this 7/16 screw here. And there's one down here. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so we'll just pull this out. And we're going to kind of rotate it without kinking this. You can see this side. Okay, so these 3 studs are the 3 studs that we're poking through. So they have another nut on them. So the firewall was right here. We have to remove that to split this cover in half. Or it's a really it's a plenum, this whole thing here. So we'll remove this. Okay, now there's sort of like a face, or like a, I don't know, like a frame on this, and it's held in by all these little 5, or what is it, 7/16 nuts, or screws. No, 5/16. So we're going to remove all these and split this in half. You don't need to remove this foam. Okay, so then this just comes apart. And there's the baffle that this is hooked to. And then your heater core, which I'll show you before I take it out. So there's your heater core right there. You can remove it. There it is. Okay, then we'll put our cover back on. And this helps lock in the core so it's not moving around. Okay, now we're going to put our carriage bolts back in from the back. One here. And it is a carriage bolt. It has a square hole, so you want to make sure the square bites, and that helps you to put it in without having a wrench on the back side. So you try your best not to strip these out. So we'll go as far as we can with that, and then we'll just use this hand tight. So if you had longer sockets, this would be easier, but like I said before, you can see how it pokes out through the back, so you can't get your fitting on. But we'll just tighten it down with this. Not crazy tight because it's just plastic. Okay, so that's good. So put this back. So we'll use these, basically those carriage bolts as a guide. Push it back in, and then we'll put these two screws in. And on yours, there'll be a tab so you can just put this screw back in, but I actually have this nut I have to put on first. So I'm just gonna reach in there and hold the nut while I thread this screw through. Okay, and while we're here, we might as well put our heater back on, or our blower, sorry. Okay, before I put my hoses back on, I'm going to put those nuts on the inside. So I'm going to reconnect my hoses. So I'll disconnect this hose clamp. Okay, so on mine, the top hose goes to the right. What you'll want to do is cut back to a fresh piece of the heater hose if you have the length, and just make for a better seal. I already did that before I put it on the piece of copper I have there. And that's all there is to it, guys. So I'm going to fire it up, make sure there's no leaks. You're going to want to wait till it warms up so it starts flowing, and then you're good to go.